because as a three-time champion who's been to 9 NBA finals, there's greatness that comes associated with that. And he's been in the eye of the storm his entire career. He's never been allowed to be a Pippen. He was always being compared to Jordan. So why bring up Pippen now? So in that regard, I don't blame him for being sensitive to that. I think his sensitivity towards the tweet from Jay Williams was justified. But I do agree with Jay Williams' explanation. I did not agree with Jay Williams' tweet, but I did agree with his explanation. LeBron James averaged more points than D-Wade his first year in Miami. He definitely was a better player than D-Wade in Miami. We understand that. But when Jay explained his point this morning, it makes absolutely, positively, total sense, almost to a point where it's undeniable on the part of LeBron James. And here is why. If you recall, Dwayne Wade acknowledged that he had to go to LeBron that offseason after they had lost in the NBA Finals to Dallas. And he told LeBron, I need you to step up and take this mantle. Don't defer to me. We can't win unless you are the best player on this team, that you're the number one option. We need to defer to you. It doesn't need to be the other way around. I appreciate you being the brother and the wonderful teammate that you are, LeBron, and being deferential because you coming on to my squad in Miami. You're joining me here in South Beach. I get all of that. But we can't win championships and be the best that we can be if you're deferring to me. I need to be deferring to you. So that basically validates what Jay Williams explained, except he didn't explain it in a tweet, obviously. He gave an extensive explanation on his radio show this morning with Keyshawn and Zubin. And that explanation by Jay Williams, I think, makes total sense because that's exactly what happened. LeBron was conducting himself like a dude that needed to be deferential at times to D-Wade year one. Years 2, 3, and 4, it was clearly LeBron and everybody was being deferential to him.
You heard what the King said, Stephen A. You heard what he said. Keep his name out of these conversations that don't have no. He's not right. He's not wrong. LeBron never responds to anybody. We have people in the media, not you, Stephen A., but that have made their name off of criticizing LeBron James, and he never say a word. But he's down there in that bubble, like the player said, they're down there doing the bid. He got time, and he's tweeting during the playoffs, something that LeBron James never do, and rightfully so. He is in a lane of his own. LeBron James stands alone. Now, here it is. LeBron James had already won 2 MVPs, took a team to the finals before he joined D-Wade. Now, he never played on the team where you had 2 other guys in their prime, 2 future Hall of Famers in my eyes, and D-Wade and Chris Bosh, because I believe Chris Bosh should be in the Hall of Fame. And he was trying to not go over there and just make it all about LeBron, but saying we're going to do this collectively in his first year there, and it didn't work. So then D-Wade, big props to him, said, no, Bron, we're going as far as you take over the team. Now, I'm going to give you the similar situation. In 2008, when KG got traded to the Celtics, I remember KG coming in, and the first thing he said in our first meeting was, hey, True, this your team, I'm going to follow your lead. Everybody in the world knew, and this no disrespect to Paul Pierce, because he's another future Hall of Famer, but everyone knew in the world that KG was the best player on that team. And I think when you start to put people's name, especially a guy like LeBron James, who has been a Batman since the age of 16 on the cover of Sports Illustrated as the chosen one, and you start to put his name and say, oh, he was a Scottie Pippen then. No, he wasn't. No, he wasn't, because what happened was they wanted to go to Miami for the simple fact, like you always alliterate to, Stephen A., they wanted that warm weather on South Beach. Nobody wanted to go to Cleveland where it's cloudy and then and LeBron had a bad relationship.
Well, it was more than warm weather, but I hear you.
Nobody wanted to, I said what I said.
It was more than warm weather, but I hear you.
What I'm saying was, Jay should have cleared that up from the jump, because when he tweeted, it came off as being disrespectful respectful to LeBron James, especially right now. And then it had nothing to do with LeBron James. What LeBron is saying, can you have this conversation and keep me out of it? Now, if it's talking about me and something that I'm doing for us with my basketball game that you watched the night before, or something that I'm doing, or I said anything in the media, then okay, I'm fine with that. But just adding me into a conversation to make your point clear, I'm with Bron. Keep my name out your mouth.
Well, let me respond to that. I told you, I totally agree with you about Jay Williams' tweet, but his explanation can't be denied. And the reason why it can't be denied, Kendrick, is because LeBron made that choice. So that's the important point here. It wasn't like LeBron was deferential because he was inferior to Dwayne Wade. He went from Cleveland to South Beach, and he made the choice to fit in. It was the first family kind of atmosphere that he had been in. You know that, Kendrick. You know brothers in Cleveland betrayed him, snickering behind his back and doing all of this nonsense at one point in time, which contributed to his desire to want to leave Cleveland and go to a better environment. Pat Riley showing him the rings, the brotherhood between him and D. Wade, Bosh being in on the mix. You know all of that. What I'm saying is that it's not insulting what Jay Williams explained this morning, because those were choices that LeBron James made, even though he was a superior player. He wanted to do that and wanted to be deferential. The tweet was wrong because it just brought up Scottie Pippen and LeBron James in the same breath, when Scottie Pippen never had that microscopic eye on him and what he was doing on the court the way that LeBron James had, and especially off the court. LeBron James, like you said, has been Batman since he was, since he was 16 years old or whatever. He hasn't had any peace. The pressure, the spotlight, its lens, heating on his back his entire adult life and some of his childhood, to be quite honest with you. Scottie Pippen never had it like that. So when Jay put out the tweet, I totally agree with you. The tweet was wrong, but not his explanation this morning, because all he was explaining was what LeBron James' choice was. And that's the difference.
But see, Stephen A., let me ask you something, man, and this is why I get confused about a lot of things, right? So, and this is praise to KD. I want to make this clear. KD, the Warriors wanted KD just as much as KD went to the Warriors. I hope a lot of people understand that. They called his phone. They had these meetings set up. When KD made the choice to go to the Warriors, right, we all knew that there was Steph team. It's always going to be Steph team, but we all knew who the Batman of that ball club was. It was Kevin Durant. That's why they called him over there. And I think that's the same similar situation. We would never call KD or LeBron or Pippen just because they made a choice. That's my whole thing, because it was clear, because even today, we can say today, D-Wade is Mr. Miami Heat. He's the greatest player to put on the Heat jersey. Is he the best player to ever play for the Heat? Absolutely not. You know, you could debate
but remember,
about for decades to come.